If you're struggling with lust, it might seem like it makes sense that marriage will solve that issue. 1 Corinthians does tell us that if you must, you should get married if you're burning with passion. It will soothe lust for a while, but what happens if the spirit of lust remains and your spouse goes out of town? Or you have a big fight and they hold out on you for a week or more? Those feelings before you get married could creep back up if never dealt with. And it would become extra hard to resist thinking about that friend or coworker in a sexual way. Furthermore, if those thoughts are not dealt with, they could become reality. Adultery is not yours or my portion in Jesus' name. With that said, make sure you're not lustful before getting married, thinking that marriage will solve it. As a result of the fall of man, lust has corrupted human nature and transformed the things that people desire. This is why lust is such a serious issue for people today. If there's one sin that has afflicted humanity and that has claimed many lives and is still taking lives today, it is lust. The Bible provides examples of how lust manifests itself in unrestrained passion. Considering everything in the universe, including the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, lust is created by what men and women observe with their eyes. If you have an issue with lust, you may also have an issue with your eyes. As a Christian, there are certain things we cannot watch, certain places we cannot visit, certain TV shows, movies, websites, and so on. Job was communicating that he had made a covenant with his eyes not to look at the nakedness of a woman, let alone allow the thoughts to infiltrate his heart. Returning to the topic of eyes, let's look at a godly king in 2 Samuel 11. When David first saw Bathsheba, he could have immediately assumed it was an error and gone back to his room, but David didn't stop there. He kept looking because Bathsheba was such a gorgeous woman, and it so happened that in that evening, David got out of bed, walked into the roof of the king's house. From the roof, he saw a woman washing herself, and the woman was very beautiful to look at. She was very attractive, so that's lust right there. His appetite for lust was sated by what he saw, and he kept gazing after her until he called for her. David then slept with her, but that wasn't the end of his sins. He later lied, plotted, and even murdered a man. It is lust's special capacity to carry you further than you intended to go. It's not your portion. That one act of staring finally led him to murder. 1 Corinthians 6:18 in the Bible states that lust will cause a person to do things they had never intended to do, and lust will cause a person to act outside of their character. An aspect of escaping lust is not putting yourself in situations where you may be forced to lust. For example, when you're courting someone, consider having a chaperone who will hold you accountable, and you should also avoid compromising situations. Occasionally, compromising circumstances will spontaneously arise. Nonetheless, you should not actively seek out these circumstances. By default, if you don't place yourself in circumstances where you have to make decisions, you're doing well. Nevertheless, if you put yourself in decision-making scenarios frequently, there is a probability that you may choose poorly. When David saw Bathsheba, he was somewhere he shouldn't have been, and where he should have been was at war with his men because he wasn't where he was supposed to be. He found himself in a compromising situation. 2 Timothy tells us to flee temptation. Isn't it funny that Paul provides Timothy a list of things to pursue righteousness after telling him to shun adolescent lust? People frequently overlook the fact that he instructs him to follow these things with a particular kind of person. He's to follow these things with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart to overcome lust. In order to overcome lust, you will also need to surround yourself with good company. The improper company will tempt you to lust because the opposite of faith, charity, and peace is lust. What kind of company are you keeping? Several businesses make it simple to cheat on your spouse or partner. All of my friends cheat on me and complain about it, but if one company makes fornication simple, why don't I? If another firm makes it simple to watch sinful content online, why don't I? If you try to fight lust and trust yourself in your own self-control, you may not win. Lust can destroy you. It will defeat you. It will take away your joy, your happiness, and more. Secondly, they are trying to fight something God told them to run away from. Don't fight something God told you to run away from. Avert compromising circumstances. What are you doing by texting that attractive individual who isn't your spouse or partner? What are you doing meeting up with that attractive person who isn't your spouse or partner? What do you do? Putting yourself in perilous circumstances. Keep company with those who desire to do justice. Rather, keep excellent company, those of love, faith, and peace.